Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, thank you for joining this morning. Srimad Bhagavatam class and attentive chanting, hopefully, if we have time later on. And we'll make a start now. And today we're talking about Vidura meeting Uddhava. Now, Uddhava was He was cousin of Krishna and a very is confident, very reliable uh, brother, friend, everything to Krishna, and he actually very much looked like Krishna as well. So Vidur meets him on his travels, and as we were discussing how Vidur left home and traveled to so many pilgrimages places to purify himself. He met up with the great saints wherever he went, also met with Uddhava and sage Maitreya. So we're discussing this today. We're discussing Uddhava today. Next week we'll go on to sage Maitreya. Let's do some praise. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Girim Yat Kirpatam Ham Vande Shri Guru Deen Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshram Hari Om Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatojayam Diriyat Nashta Preshu Badareshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nestiki. Hare Krishna. So it's mentioned that thereafter, when Vidur, he passed through very wealthy provinces like Surat, Suvira and Matsya, and through western India, known as Kuru Jungle. And at last he reached the bank of the Yamuna, where he happened to meet Uddhava, the great devotee of Lord Krishna. Now this tract of land comprising about 100 square miles from modern Delhi to the Mathura district in Uttar Pradesh, including a portion of the Gurgaon district in Punjab, is considered to be the topmost place of pilgrimages in all of India. It's mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada. This land is sacred because Lord Krishna travelled through it many times. From the very beginning of his appearance, he was at Mathura in the house of his maternal uncle Kamsa, and he was reared by his foster father Maharaj Nanda at Vrindavan, and there are still many devotees of the Lord lingering there in ecstasy in search of Krishna and his childhood associates, the gopis. So it is not that such devotees meet Krishna face to face in that tract of land, but a devotee eagerly searching after Krishna is as good as his seeing him personally. How this is so cannot be explained, but it is factually realized by those who are pure devotees of the Lord. Now, philosophically, one can understand that Lord Krishna and his remembrance are on the absolute plane, and that the very idea of searching for him at Vrindavan in pure God consciousness gives more pleasure to the devotee than seeing him face to face. Such devotees of the Lord see him face to face at every moment, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. So those who are in ecstasy of love with the Supreme Personality Godhead, Lord Shyam Sundar Krishna, see him always in their hearts due to the love and devotional service rendered to the Lord. Both Vidur and Uddhava were such elevated devotees, and therefore they both came to the bank of the Yamuna and met each other. So this is a description of the pure devotees, and Vidur and Uddhava are no less, and now they have met. And obviously when two devotees meet, what do they discuss? Krishna Katha, Krishna topics. So then, due to his great love and feeling, Vidur embraced him, who was a constant companion of Lord Krishna and formerly a great student of Brahaspati. Vidur then asked him for news of the family of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Vidur was older than Uddhava, like a father, and therefore when the two met, Uddhava bowed down before Vidur, and Vidur embraced him because Uddhava was younger, like a son. Uddhava's brother Pandu was Lord Krishna's uncle, and Uddhava was a cousin to Lord Krishna. So according to social custom, therefore, Vidur was to be respected by Uddhava on the level of his father. Uddhava was a great scholar in logic, and he was known to be a son or disciple of Brahaspati, the greatly learned priest and spiritual master of the demigods. Vidura asked Uddhava about the welfare of his relatives, although he already knew that they were no longer in the world. So this inquiry appears to be very queer, but Srila Jiva Goswami states that the news was shocking to Vidura, who therefore inquired again due to great curiosity. He just wanted to hear it from Uddhava as well. Thus his inquiry was psychological and not practical. After inquiring about so many of the relatives, Vidura continued to say, "O gentle one, I simply lament for him." Now he's talking about Dhritarashtra. "I simply lament for him who rebelled against his brother after death. By him I was driven out of my own house, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his own sons." So Vidura didn't ask about the welfare of his elder brother Dhritarashtra, because there was no chance of his well-being. Only news of his gliding down to hell after everything happened, so many lives lost, and injustice to the Pandavas. So he was going to hell. Vidura was a sincere well-wisher for Dhritarashtra, and he had a thought about him in the corner of his heart. He lamented that Dhritarashtra could rebel against the sons of his dead brother Pandu, and that he could drive him out of his own house on the dictation of his crooked sons. In spite of these actions, Vidura never became an enemy of Dhritarashtra, but continued to be his well-wisher. And at the last stage of Dhritarashtra's life, it was Vidura only who proved to be his real friend. Such is the behavior of Vaishnava like Vidura, who desires all good even for his enemies. So we have discussed this before, that Vidura goes back and helps Dhritarashtra back to Godhead. Oh, well, at least get liberation. I don't think he would go back to Godhead. He will just get liberation at least. Now, depending. So, I'm not astonished at this, having travelled over the world, says Vidura, without being seen by others. The activities of the personality of Godhead, which are like those of a man in this mortal world, are bewildering to others, but I know of his greatness by his grace, and thus I am happy in all respects. So although he was the brother of Dhritarashtra, Vidura was completely different. He was completely opposite. By the grace of Lord Krishna, he was not foolish like his brother, and thus his brother's association could not influence him. Dhritarashtra and his materialistic sons wanted to forcefully lord it over the world by dint of their own strength. The Lord encouraged them in this, and thus they became more and more bewildered. But Vidura wanted to achieve sincere devotional service of the Lord, and therefore became a soul absolutely surrendered to the absolute personality of Godhead. So the Lord encouraged them, and they became more bewildered. So this is how Krishna operates, isn't it? He works, as we discussed, that if you want to lord it over, or you want to do wrong things, Krishna tries to stop you, but if you don't want to stop, you have the right or the free will to do as you please, and then he will encourage you to do wrong as well. He will encourage you to do right. If you don't want to take that path, then he will encourage you to do wrong. He will always inspire you, because he is your he helps you to achieve your desires. So Krishna is always there, but if you do wrong, then obviously you will get punished as well. So that was the way with the Kauravas. So, but Vidura wanted to achieve sincere devotion of the Lord, and therefore became a soul absolutely surrendered to the absolute personality of Godhead. He could realize this in the progress of his pilgrimage journey, and thus he was freed from all doubts. He was not at all sorry to be bereft of his hearth and home, because he now had experienced that dependence on the mercy of the Lord is a greater freedom than so-called freedom at home. Amazing. A person should not be in the renounced order of life unless he is firmly convinced of being protected by the Lord. So when somebody becomes a sannyasi, he must have full confidence that Krishna is going to maintain him, not be so worried inside, so tense that what will happen now, that I have left home, I have left everything, I am under the mercy of Krishna, will he actually help me? But the sannyasis only take sannyas or so-called sannyas in the Kali Yuga when they are 100% confident that Krishna will maintain them, and he does maintain them. And many sannyasis have said this, that they were a little bit worried, but they found that Krishna did provide for them. Sannyasis and brahmacharis as well, that they're a little bit doubtful at first, but found that Krishna always take care of his own. So a person should not be in the renouncement of life unless he is firmly convinced of being protected by the Lord. This stage of life is explained in Bhagavad-Gita as Abhyam Sattva Samshuddhi. Every living entity is factually completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. But unless one is in the pure state of existence, he cannot be established in this position. This stage of dependence is called Sattva Samshuddhi, or purification of one's existence. The result of such purification is exhibited in fearlessness. So a pure devotee becomes fearless, he's not afraid of anything, because he's totally reliant on Krishna to look after him. A devotee of the Lord who is called Narayan Para is never afraid of anything because he is always aware of the fact that the Lord protects him in all circumstances. With this conviction, Vidura travelled alone, and he was not seen or recognized by any friend or foe. Thus he enjoyed freedom of life without obligation to the many duties of the world. So this was his independence, total reliance on the Lord. So when Lord Krishna was personally present in the mortal world in his eternal blissful form of Shyam Sundar, those who were not pure devotees of the Lord could not recognize him or know his glories. Avajanati Mamura Manusham Tanam Ashritam, as mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita. He is always bewildering to the non-devotees, but he is always seen by the devotees by dint of their pure devotional service to him. So Krishna always shows himself to his pure devotees and bewilders the non-devotees. Despite his being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, he refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins. And although he saw the kings constantly agitating the earth by their strong military movements carried out under the dictation of three kinds of false pride. So Krishna could have killed the Kauravas any time he wanted, but he wanted to do it in the right way and in the most effective way. And we'll find out how that he does this. So as declared in Bhagavad-Gita, the Lord appears in the mortal world to execute his much needed mission of killing the miscreants and giving protection to the suffering faithful. So after all, that's his mission when he comes. In spite of that mission, Lord Krishna tolerated the insult to Draupadi by the Kurus and the injustices perpetrated against the Pandavas, as well as insults to himself. So the Lord has to take so much when he comes. He's personally insulted, his devotees are insulted, but he waits for the right time and the right way. The question may be raised, why did he tolerate such injustices and insults in his presence? Why did he not chastise the Kurus immediately? When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly by the Kurus, by the attempt to disrobe her in the presence of all, the Lord protected Draupadi by supplying an unlimited length of clothing or sari. But he did not chastise the insulting party immediately. This silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he excused the offences of the Kurus. So just because you've done some very big offence and nothing has happened, you think, well, what's all this Vaishnava Parad and all this? Nothing happens. I'm still okay. I'm still chanting. I'm still doing my services. I've got everything. But the Lord does not work like that. He waits for the right time. You find that your Bhakti Lata plant will slowly dry up. Doesn't dry up straight away if you're not watering it. It takes time. Slowly it will dry up, and you will lose the Bhakti by Vaishnava Prad. So Krishna waited for the, in this case they weren't even devotees anyway, the Kauravas. So, but he wanted to wait for the right time. So this silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he excused the offenses of the Kurus. There were many of the kings on earth who had become very proud of the three kinds of possessions, which included wealth, education, and number of followers. So, and they were constantly agitating the earth by movements of military strength. Excuse me. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at one time. So why waste so much time going here and there? Let's kill them all in one go. Sometime we can make them fight each other as well, and let them kill each other. So just to make a shortcut in his killing mission, godless kings or heads of state, when puffed up by advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of population and followers, always show a military strength and give trouble to the innocent. So when Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra. So this is why this battle was arranged, and I think there's like 650 million soldiers on that battlefield at that time. In his manifestation of Vishwarup, the Lord expressed his mission of killing as follows. So the Lord expresses that I have willingly descended to the earth in my capacity of inexorable time in order to decrease the unwanted population. I shall finish all those who have assembled here except you, the Pandavas. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of war, then, O Sabyasachi, just become the immediate cause of this killing and thus take the credit. I have already killed all the great warriors, Bhisham, Drona, Jayadratha, Karan, and many other great generals. Don't worry, fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. So the Lord Krishna, he always wants to give credit to his devotees. Although he does everything, he still enjoys giving credit to his devotees, and that is God himself, but that is also a sign of a good leader. A leader always gives credit to the people who are following him and not take the credit himself. So the Lord always wants to see his devotees as the hero of some episode which he himself performs. He wanted to see his devotee and friend Arjun as the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus he waited for all the miscreants of the world to assemble. That and nothing else is an explanation of his waiting, why he waited so long and let all things happen in the favor of Kauravas. He was waiting for the right time. So the appearance of the Lord is manifested for the annihilation of the upstarts. His activities are transcendental and are enacted for the understanding of all persons. Otherwise, since the Lord is transcendental to all material modes, what purpose could he serve by coming to earth? So he comes to earth for his devotees and helps them, gets rid of the miscreants, establish his religion, and show his pastimes. Let the devotees enjoy his pastimes. So Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Sachinanda Vigraha, as is mentioned in the Brahma Samhita, the form of the Lord is eternal, blissful, and all-satisfying. His so-called birth is therefore an appearance only, like the birth of the sun on the horizon. The sun is already there, but now we see him and now we don't. It's like that, appears and disappears, but it's always there. His birth does not, like that of the living entities, take place under the influence of material nature and the bondage of the reactions of past deeds. Like we do, we take birth, we take body according to our previous karma. But Lord Krishna is not like that. He can come and go as he pleases in any way, shape and form as he pleases. So he's in control. His works and activities are independent pastimes and are not subject to the reactions of material nature. So in Bhagavad-Gita it is said, Namam karmani limpanti name karm phal sapraha iti mam ya vijanati karma virnasa padiyate. There is no work that affects me. So Krishna declares that there is no work that affects him, or do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. So the law of karma enacted by the Supreme Lord for the living entities cannot be applicable to him. He is above that. Nor has the Lord any desire to improve himself by activities like those of ordinary living beings, because he is already the best. Ordinary living beings work for the improvement of their conditioned lives, but the Lord is already full of all opulence, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and all renunciation. He has all the qualities. Why should he desire improvement? No one can excel him in any opulence, and therefore the desire for improvement is absolutely useless for him. One should always discriminate between the activities of the Lord and those of ordinary living beings. Thus one may come to the right conclusion regarding the Lord's transcendental position. One who can come to the conclusion of the Lord's transcendence can become a devotee of the Lord and can at once be free from all reactions of past deeds. It is said, Karmani nirdati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. The Lord minimizes or nullifies the reactionary influences of the devotee's past deeds when once you surrender to him. So this is the explanation about the Lord. So Uddhava, when he meets Vidura, they're discussing, obviously, first of all, exchanging about the family, how they are, but everything's gone out of control up there. And Vidura already knew that. He found out earlier on, I think it was Prabhas, where he found out that this has happened, but he just wanted to just clarify things and in a way of breaking the ice with Uddhava and showing his sorrow that this has happened. And then he's thinking about Dhritarashtra as well, that he survived, but he's not going to have a great life, and he's definitely not going to be in a great position when he leaves his body. So he's thinking about him, that I should help him somehow to regain at least something, so he can get liberation. Since he's his brother, it's he feels his duty to help him through his ignorance, because Dhritarashtra is, as we discussed, blind and also spiritually blind. But if somebody can guide him and help him, all the better. And this should be our mission in life as well, to help those that you feel that need our support, our help. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Prem Prakash Prabhu, my father-in-law ji, Rukmani Mataji, welcome back. Jai Prabhu, and Kirti Vyasji, Madhav Shamsundar Prabhu, Parveen Mataji, Sarveshi Mataji, Sopan Prabhu, welcome. And okay, I'd like to hear your views on this. We have Kirti Vyas Mataji, I'd like to hear from you. Anything you would like to add or discuss on this topic? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, this is my first time joining this class.
No
So I would like to hear more from others and just consider me as a beginner.
Thank you, Andrej. That's fine. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Rukmani Mataji. Hare Krishna. Rukmani Mataji, I think you're still on mute. Okay. Anyway, we'll go to Jai Prabhu then. Jai Prabhuji. Oh, Mataji is here now. Nandi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Are you there, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm leaving. I have to go.
Okay. You going now?
Yeah, I'm going out.
Okay.
We are going on a holiday at the cottage.
Okay.
So I have to go. My daughter must be waiting for me.
Okay.
Sorry, Prabhuji. I'm very, very sorry.
That's good. No, that's fine. Enjoy your holiday and thank you for joining. That's really good that you at least joined and heard the katha. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Next Friday we'll see you.
Devotee. This is Dharma Kamoksha. You know, always start everything with Dharma. So you listen to the class. Now you're going to holiday. It's a good way to start your holiday.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. Haribol.
Hari Bol. Jai Prabhu. Hari Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, so who is Uddhava? Yes, as you said, he's a cousin of Krishna and a good friend and a good devotee as well. So Vidura meets Uddhava. Uddhava was even his child, a true devotee of Krishna, and this continued into old age. I think we've probably all heard of the Uddhava Gita, which were in the last conversation and last teachings of Krishna, a conversation between Krishna and Uddhava, I think so. Yeah, I'll mention a couple of things that you said. A pure devotee of Krishna is fearless, and he has faith that Krishna will protect him at all times. So that those who were not devotees did not recognize Krishna as a supreme personality of God. I think the Yadus, which are the Yadu dynasty, which are his family, they did not even recognize him as the supreme personality of Godhead. I think they recognize him as the Paramatma, but not as a supreme personality. So I don't know. I think the Yadu dynasty follow him when he moves from universe to universe. I don't know if I'm right on that, but maybe you can, So what I did, I read chapter 2, the canto. I think so. I'll just pick up a few points. Well, one or two key points from there. So one of the major points was that's mentioned is serving the parents. So he said that Krishna asked his parents for forgiveness for being unable to serve them while he was absent from home due to Kamsa. So the Lord, whose lotus feet are worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva, wanted to worship the feet of his father, Vasudev. This is an important instruction by the Lord here. So even if one is the Supreme Lord, one must serve his parents. A son is indebted to his parents, and in many ways, and it's the duty of the son to serve his parents. So, we've heard a lot about serving devotees and gurus and all that, but I haven't really heard about serving parents in all readings I've done so far. But here it is. So yeah. So goes through in this chapter. He goes through all of Krishna's pastimes. With Krishna Katha from birth. So there's mention of his childhood and his pastimes such as the Golaka Vrindavan, the pastimes of the gopis, and with the cowherd boys. So I don't know whether we're going to cover this next week, but this was discussed when he met with Uddhava. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we discussed, sort of went through these topics before, and now I'm just covering them, the things that we haven't covered before. Even like we probably won't talk about Dhritarashtra, how Vidura helped Dhritarashtra, because we've done that already, and I'm just trying to concentrate on things that may help us, for the philosophy rather than all the, because we're doing a lot of pastimes. So I'm just trying to concentrate on the philosophy as well now. So thank you so much, Prabhu. I'm just going to say that it's mentioned by Prabhupada in Bhagavad-Gita that what good men do, others follow. So Krishna set a lot of good examples for us to follow, because this is what we do. We take inspiration from somebody, in higher authority, or we think is better than us. We take inspiration from them. So Krishna did a lot of things that he didn't need to do. There's no obligation for him, but he did. So others, to set an example for others. And you mentioned that there's not much about serving parents, and it's a lot about serving devotees. And I think, if I understand correctly, first of all, when you're serving parents, it is necessary to serve parents, but the parents must behave as parents, because sometimes there are issues, and parents, if they're not behaving as they should, like a parent, just like a guru, if a guru is not behaving like a guru, then you can reject. So parents, though you're serving, must behave like parents. Serving parents is your dharma, but above dharma is your bhakti. So sometimes you might have to give bhakti priority as well, but obviously you've got to follow your dharma as well as far as possible. So I think this is my understanding. And plus, we are talking about bhakti in the scriptures, and not so much about dharma, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, what about the, Yadu-Dinis? Do they follow Krishna from universe to universe?
Yeah, I guess they do. He has his associates that he takes along, and his entourage, sort of paraphernalia. Entourage.
Why did they not recognize him as the Supreme Lord then? Krishna as the Supreme Lord?
Then that would spoil everything, bro. He puts them under illusion, because he wants to enjoy as a friend. He wants to enjoy as a son. This is he wants to be enjoyed as a cowherd boy, a innocent little baby. He wants all that. This is the whole idea of this is the whole sweetness of the pastimes. If they recognize him as God, then they will have too much respect for him, and they won't be all the sweetness and the rasa that he's looking for in the relationships. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Then you see his authority, and you're very careful. Everything's very official. This is why Krishna is the greatest since Vrindavan, and he's the king in Dwarka. So in Vrindavan, he's the greatest, because that's where he's having his sweetest pastime, and that's what's most important to him. And he sometimes they see him doing things, but he bewilders them again, because Krishna, he does that. He bewilders people, because then he can get them to see him the way he wants. Yashoda Maya is always worried about him. If she realizes that he's God, then she won't be worried about him. She'll be just giving too much respect, and he doesn't want that. He wants to be treated as a son by Yashoda Maya. Okay?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Parveen Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam to everyone. Yeah, very nice class, Prabhuji. And all I want to say is bhakti, we become closer to God, we love God, but also as a result, we become better people. So the qualities like Vidura had, he was still thinking good for Dhritarashtra, although all the bad things he has done. And so we have to be good to our enemies as well, fearless. So all these good qualities are what's the word I'm looking for? As a devotee, automatically all these good qualities are developed in you. And so our aim should be we should be always ready to help whoever needs our help and support. But like you were saying, Prabhuji, about the parents, and then is it not our perception? So what are good parents, like when parents are elderly and then they behave in a certain way, or even before they have behaved in a certain way. So how can we see if it is wrong? Because we might think, no, they haven't treated us fairly. But then is it just our perception? And then you talked about guru as well. So you might think you're committing a prad. If bad things are coming to your mind, you think, no, this is not the right thing. But then you're too scared to say it as well, because like in the mind, you're thinking, yeah, maybe I'm just committing a, a prad. So how do you understand these things?
Yeah, I mean, see, things parents will encourage you in the things that they do. Like a father, if he's a thief, he will encourage his son to be a thief, isn't it? So just because he's a parent doesn't necessarily mean that they can only guide you in things they know, but you have to know, what's right and wrong for you. Yeah. Just because he's a father doesn't necessarily mean he will give you the right advice. He'll give you advice what he thinks is right, what he knows is right. So that's that situation. With the guru, this class, the Sunday class we were listening to the other day, with Shri Vrindavan Prabhu, and see, I mean, we should. He's asked him the question that, we have so much respect for the guru, that he is God's representative. He carries Krishna in the heart, and we have Vyas Puja, and we respect him so much. So what if the guru falls down? But and still we do also have the fear in our mind that hope my guru doesn't fall down, because gurus do fall down. Maya is very, very strong, even for the gurus who we might think they're pure devotees, but even Maya can attack anybody. It's stronger than us. It can attack. And Sri Vrindavan Prabhu says that if the guru falls down, then we just pray for him. So we shouldn't think badly for our guru, or even for our parents. We shouldn't think bad things, because everybody has the Paramatma in the heart. So it should be Samadarshana. We should treat everybody equally. We should not, from my side, we should not have bad feelings. We should pray for them, whether it's our parent, if they're behaving badly, or the guru falls down. We should pray for them. That was his advice, and I think that's the best way to go about it. We pray for everybody, treat everybody equally, because they have Paramatma in their heart, but we don't have to reciprocate if somebody is not behaving the right way.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I think Prem Prakash Prabhu is listening only. So, Sureshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji.
Vidura and Uddhava, they were not ordinary people. Well, Vidura was the son of Vyasdeva, great personality. And it mentioned in Bhagavatam that Uddhava, he was a cousin of Lord Krishna. That means he was brother, Uddhava's brothers and Krishna's brothers. Uddhava's father and Krishna's father were brothers. And both Vidura and Uddhava were great devotees of Lord Krishna. Vidura wanted to know all about Krishna, not only about Krishna, but all the relatives of Krishna, because they were all great souls. And it's a very appropriate verse in the Bhagavad-Gita, which I'd like to read, because Krishna says this is one of the very special sloka. Krishna gave 4 slokas in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, and this is very special slok is giving, and it is very appropriate. It says, Machita madgrat prana bodhayantam parasparam katantascha mam nittam tushyanti charamanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. And that is all about Krishna, Uddhava and Vidura. And then it says, devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaging in glorifying the qualities of and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. So when Vidura came and he met Uddhava, and he wanted to know all about the relatives and how Krishna's activities. And then Uddhava told him to ask Maitri Muni. He'll tell you in the fully, because when Krishna was living, he instructed Maitri Muni and mentioned Vidura. And when Vidura heard that Lord Krishna mentioned him to Maitri Muni, he was very pleased. And the Maitri Muni told him about Krishna. And his intention was to know about Krishna. He would talk about Krishna. They both were talking about Krishna. They were both were crying because their thoughts were on Krishna. And then the lesson we get is here that we should always we should follow the footsteps of Vidura and Uddhava and always think and discuss about Lord Krishna. We'll never forget him. That's how the both Mahatmas, because Vidura was Mahatma and Uddhava was Mahatma as well. So they had nothing else to talk about, only Krishna. So we try to, I know we not like them. We are different, we are different in the different age. And they had association of Krishna. We haven't got association of Krishna, but we've got association of Krishna through Bhagavatam and through the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Wonderfully explained. Thank you so much, and thank you all. That this is the thing we learn. We take association of Krishna through Srimad Bhagavatam, and we learn so much how to move forward, how to advance by the examples of the devotees, by the example of the pure devotees. If you want to learn something, then you have to see the people higher than you, and then we take inspiration from them and see how they behave, how they think, how they act. So we look at that. That's in material life as well. If you want to become a established businessman or a successful person, then you just watch the people who are already there, and you see how they have achieved, what kind of habits they have. There's like a book called 7 Habits of Effective, Most Successful Effective People. So the book's telling you what kind of habits they have, what they have in common that might have helped them to become successful. So it's a bit like that in Bhakti, that we look at how the pure devotees get where how they became advanced by following their example and following in their footsteps. We can't always copy them, right? Everybody has their own different capacities. We can't copy Shiva and drink poison, because we're not capable of doing that. We'll die. But we follow in the footsteps, so we just understand the essence of what what's to be done, not copy like for like what they did. We follow the footsteps in the essence of it. So thank you so much. Sveshi Mataji, shall we do a round, and then maybe Parveen Mataji can do a second round?
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashtata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare